If you want to get an Oklahoma onion burger, there's two things you can do. Now you can either get on a train, plane, bus or car and get yourself to Oklahoma and order yourself one from Sid's Diner or one of the other guys, or you can just watch this video and make your own. So the Oklahoma onion burger is an iconic burger. It dates back to the early 1920s, and a lot of people actually think it comes out of the Great Depression, and it is actually known as the Depression Burger, but it actually comes from during the railroad strike. There was actually 400,000 railroad workers that went on strike back then. The government was going to cut their wages, and the Hamburger Inn started making these burgers purely to make the meat go further. So they packed it full of onion. It was a cheaper burger to make, and the smell of the onions cooking drew people in, and that's when it actually came about, which was 7 years before the Great Depression. To this day, you've actually got one of the most famous ones is Sid's Diner, Marty Hall. He actually started Sid's Diner. He was building it. Unfortunately, as he was building it, his dad Sid died, so he actually named it after his dad. But he's still there to this day, flipping and doing these burgers the same way they were done back in the day. You've also got Roberts and Johnny's. They're quite renowned and well known for doing the Oklahoma burger in El Reno, Oklahoma. To this day, they're still going strong. As I say, it's a national treasure. It's an absolute iconic burger. It absolutely puts a whole new meaning to the word iconic. Super simple to do, super easy to make. I guess you're all probably wondering why I'm stood out in a field. Well, I'm not actually stood in a field. I'm stood just outside my house. I just thought it'd be a nice backdrop more than anything else. Nothing to do with the video whatsoever. At the end of the day, the onion predates cheese, it predates ketchup, all that stuff. It's the main ingredients to this burger, and it absolutely makes it what it is. So what we got here is onions, mustard, pickles, optional, soft rolls, got them reduced. This little lot cost me just over a £5, and American cheese. And we've got 80-20 mincemeat, as we call, ground beef, as the Americans like to call it. It's got 20% fat ratio, which just gives it a little bit of extra flavour. It helps with getting that Maillard reaction going, crisping it off, browning them. It just adds flavour. It's got to be done. So let's get to prepping. These are around about 80 grams per patty. And as I say, when you ball these up, just do it nice and gently. Don't go too hard. Also, no seasoning whatsoever. We'll season as we cook them. There's several ways you can do the onions. You can just slice them with a knife. Get them nice and thin as you can. You want them as even as possible. Obviously, you've got to be very careful with these. That's close enough for my liking. So you could do these the night before. You could leave them for a while, let a bit of moisture come out. You can also add a bit of salt to help bring out the moisture. That's what you want. That is exactly what you're looking for. Super, super thin. Breathe through your mouth. Woo! That's it, basically. We just got to get the coals rolling. I've got a flat plate. I'm going to chuck that on and we'll get going. Let's get grilling. So as I say, the Great Depression burger didn't originate from the Great Depression, but it certainly helped in those unforeseen times. Businesses crashing, people running around, they haven't got much money, trying to make things go further, like that burger itself, making the meat go further. People struggling all over. Hard to imagine times like that, isn't it? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to make something really super cheap, that's got a lot of character and flavour, everyone's going to love it. You got a nice, you know, conversation piece to talk about the whole history behind the burger while you're cooking it with your friends and family. Get yourself into making these burgers. So to replicate these burgers is super simple to do. As I say, just smash that meat down as thin as you can get it. Season the meat just after you've smashed it, a bit of salt and pepper. Slice those onions super thin. You can actually smash the onions down with the meat as you smash it down, and you don't have to have a certain tool to be able to smash that down. You can use a saucepan or anything to smash that meat down. Get a nice crust on that burger before you flip it. Put the cheese on, let that melt down, and the reason you're putting the buns over the top, back in the day they used to, and still do, put the buns on top so that all that juices that's steaming out through the onions and the meat goes into the bun, warms it up. It just puts a little bit of flavour into the bun as well. So with that being said, let's give this bad boy a try. What can I say? You just cannot get better than that. These cost less than £1 to make. So if you're wanting to cook for a lot of friends and not spend a huge amount of money, you can have a chat to your friends and family. Nice conversation piece of how these come about and the history behind them. Super simple. Cheese, onion, beef, bun, mustard and pickles as an added extra if you want pickles. What can I say, guys? I need to crack on with this. Honestly, you just cannot go wrong with that. Get those onions so they're starting to caramelise as well. Absolutely perfect. Adds even more flavour. Well, at the end of the day, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe. It doesn't cost a penny to subscribe. You've been watching Brothers of the Grill. And remember, go cook something exceptional. And I'll see you when I see you. Cheers.